Now, talking about this US congressman that came out to say that Christians have been unalived in Nigeria, right? That gained a lot of momentum, but to some certain extent, if we are to put it straight and sincere, that doesn't reflect the reality on ground at the moment, right? But does that mean it has not happened before? The fact is, absolutely it has happened. Let me take you down memory lane a little bit. When Boko Haram started on the basis of attacking Christians, right? A lot of churches were burnt. Christians were the major target. That is in 2009. Till all of a sudden now, and let's ask the question, why were they able to gain a reasonable ground? They were able to gain a reasonable ground because they had a lot of sympathizers from the radical Muslims as well that felt that they were doing God's job. Till the whole thing took a new dimension entirely. And how did it take a new dimension? It took a new dimension when they now discovered that at the end of the day, it's not even the Christians that are their problem. The problem now is any Muslim that doesn't also agree with the fact that people need to be unalived on the basis of they have a contrary religious belief is also an infidel. So they now turned on even the Muslims as well and started attacking them on the basis of their infidel because they don't believe they should carry weapons to go on and unalive anybody that is of contrary belief. That being said, let's talk about the present reality. What is happening at the moment? I think the best caption that would have captioned this well is the fact that the congressman or US should have been able to come out and say that there is an active radical Islamic ideology that is engulfing the nation and is consuming a good number of people. And let's put it this way. Who are their targets? The target of these radical Islamic elements is just anybody that doesn't see even Islam the way they see it. Not just Christians, even Islam. They believe that if you don't think that it's right to wage war against anybody that has a contrary view in regards to the fact that you just believe the kingdom of God must be established on earth, you are an infidel. And as such, they attack anybody, irrespective of your religious belief. Are we going to cite an example? An example in the sense that when you look at the Northeast, the fact is most of the major attacks, majorly that has been responsible for unaliving a lot of individuals, have a radical Islamic undertone. That is just it. And the fact is the government doing anything about that? Have they done anything about that? Absolutely not. Because we have had negotiations with bandits now. And let's put it this way now. Most of these radical elements, when they go to attack, they have an anthem, which is usually Allahu Akbar, before attacking. And you quite agree with me that Allahu Akbar has an affiliation with Islamic concept. Despite the fact that it's subject to interpretation. What Allahu Akbar means to a good Muslim is not the same thing as the what Allahu Akbar means to a radical Muslim. And that is just it. And that is what is happening. And funny enough now, look at the dilemma now. The good Muslims to us are people like Sheikh Imam Khalid, Masusuka, and the rest of other people that preach about the need for peaceful coexistence between Muslims and Christians. That doesn't stop anybody from practicing his religion. Those are the good Muslims to the Christians and other the tribes and non-believers as well. But these are also considered as bad Muslims to the radical Islamic ideologists. They see them as Muslims that doesn't reflect reality. Let's cite an instance with even what is happening in Kano at the moment now. You can see this is the same religion, the same religion, the same Islam. But somebody now haven't said, this is my opinion in regards, this is what this verse of the Quran means, and this is what it entails. The same Muslims now are calling for the unaliving of this man because they believe he has blasphemed against the Holy Prophet. So you get to see, even the Islam is now divided into the radical and the non-radical. The non-radical now are the good ones to everybody and humanity. But the radical ones now are the people that have been rendering havoc and nothing is done in that regards. Let's look at, it's only in Nigeria, I challenge anybody in the whole world, it's only in Nigeria that we are going to be, Nigeria as a liberal country on paper, that we are going to be counting like almost getting to 10 people that has been unalived on the basis of blasphemy. On the basis of blasphemy. It's only in Nigeria, despite the fact that we say we are a liberal country. And what is the government doing about this? Nothing. Has there been any has anybody been apprehended or brought to book? Nobody. And it's still going on. And it's going to go on for a very long time. And what is the government supposed to do in this regards? Let's ask ourselves this question. Some basic and common things. Let it not look as if we talk without proffering solutions. The fact is, you have to identify these radical Islamic imams that are ambassadors of atrocity, havoc, ambassador of insurgents, that mounts the podium and preach to people and tell them on the need to unalive anybody on the basis of that he has a contrary belief or he's blaspheming. And in so doing now, you have to even touch some basis on the provisions of the Sharia and where it stands. So that is the no-go area now that people see that you shouldn't go there. Why? Because it will affect your political ambition, evidently with what we have seen with Muslim ticket. So that is just basically what the government need to do, but they are not doing that. First of all, apprehend a lot of these radical scholars that promotes these things, number one. And first of all, there shouldn't be a situation where another provision is challenging the legitimacy or the existence of the Constitution that is supposed to be superior, supreme, and binding. I've seen Tinubu's utterance when he visited Plateau State of recent, talking about he has never attempted to convert his wife to Muslim or whatever, they are Muslims and Christians. That coming from a normal Nigerian, an average Nigerian is okay. But from the presidency, that is not what we demand. The fact is, check it out, globally, is also part of the responsibility of the government to ensure that religious practices are regulated in such a way that it doesn't infringe on other people's belief, irrespective of what it is. So, belief is a personal thing. But what do we have? Nigerian government will prefer to play politics around it while people are suffering and a lot of lives are being unalived. So in as much as we will tell ourselves that it's a propaganda, US is sponsoring propaganda, but to some certain extent you can't rule out these elements that I'm saying. And I'm not saying this and exonerating even Christians in the first place. It's also part of the government responsibility to checkmate that the fraudulent activities going on under Christianity is also investigated and challenged. But what is happening? Nothing. Pastor gather people and say miracle, whatever, selling miracle, selling a lot of other things, and it goes well. So, it's not... Kai.